Have you ever noticed that the more you explain yourself, the less people understand you? That the louder you speak, the more the world seems to talk over you? We live in a world addicted to noise. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, validated. We post, we reply, we argue, we defend. But at what cost? What if I told you that every unnecessary word you speak leaks your energy, dilutes your presence, and weakens your power? In a time where everyone is performing, silence is rebellion. And stillness? Stillness is strategy. In today's video, we'll dive deep into 11 Buddhist insights and one bonus lesson inspired by both ancient Zen teachings and the calculated sharpness of Machiavellian wisdom that show you how to stop losing your energy in words and start reclaiming your strength in silence. This isn't just about talking less. It's about leading without needing attention. It's about protecting your peace in a noisy world. It's about winning battles quietly, masterfully, and completely without ever raising your voice. If you've ever felt emotionally drained, unheard, underestimated, or misunderstood, stay until the very end. Because when you stop speaking just to be heard, you begin to truly listen. And when you listen deeply, you start to see clearly. And that's where the real power lives. Welcome to the Enlightened Mind. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Silence is the seat of supreme power. They say silence is empty. But what if it's the most powerful thing you own? In Buddhism, silence is not passive. It's presence. It's awareness. It's strength in its purest form. Think of a mountain. It doesn't argue with the wind. It stands still. It listens. And in that stillness, it commands. Most people speak to defend, to prove, to perform. But each time we react from ego, we trade clarity for chaos. The Buddha taught, mindfulness begins where reactivity ends. Silence is not about weakness. It's about choice. About knowing you don't owe everyone an explanation. There once was a monk who was accused of stealing. He didn't defend himself. He simply bowed and walked away. Years later, the truth came out and people were in awe of his restraint. But he didn't do it for praise. He did it because he understood. Peace is more valuable than pride. In every argument, ask yourself, do I need to speak or do I need to see? You don't need to raise your voice to prove your worth. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Lesson 2. Speak less, see more. Most people talk to be heard. Very few talk to understand. Even fewer realize the more you speak, the less you see. In Buddhist thought, the one who observes in silence sees deeper than the one who speaks in haste. Because speech is a form of energy, and where energy flows, awareness cannot go. Ever notice how the quietest person in the room often sees the most? Not because they're shy, because they're awake. There's a Zen story of a student who kept interrupting his teacher. Finally, the master poured tea into a full cup until it overflowed. The student shouted, "Stop! It's full!" The teacher smiled and said, "Exactly, so is your mind. Your mouth may be loud, but your mind can't listen when it's full. Try this. In your next conversation, listen 70%, speak 30%. Don't rush to respond. Watch the tone, the breath, the pause, the silence. Silence is where truth hides, and silence is where wisdom waits. If you want to see more clearly, speak less urgently. Lesson 3. Be quietly disciplined. Everyone wants to be seen. We post our progress, announce our goals, broadcast every move. But real transformation? It happens in silence. The Buddha didn't shout his teachings, he lived them. He practiced quietly, consistently, without needing a stage. Discipline is not what you do in front of others. It's what you choose when no one is watching. Ask yourself, would you still wake up early? Meditate, train, reflect. If no one ever noticed, quiet discipline is sacred. It's the builder laying one invisible brick at a time, until one day there's a temple standing where no one thought anything existed. Here's your challenge. Carve out one silent hour every day. Make it non-negotiable. Use it to create, reflect, move, breathe, without distraction, without noise, without validation. Let your progress speak for itself, and let your silence become the loudest thing about you. Lesson 4. The mindset of quiet achievers. You don't hear stars when they shine, but every night they light the sky in silence. This is the mindset of the quiet achiever, the one who doesn't seek the spotlight, because they've already found the light within. In Buddhism, silence is not emptiness. It is presence-rich, alert, and wise. Most people confuse noise with progress. They think if no one sees it, it doesn't count. But real achievement doesn't happen on stages. It happens in solitude. You rise early while the world sleeps. You work on yourself when no one is watching. You build, not for applause, but because growth is your nature. Try this. Each night, write down one quiet win. Maybe you stayed calm in a difficult moment. Maybe you completed a task without announcing it. Maybe you let go of something that no longer served you. These silent victories build an inner fortress, one that fame, failure, or criticism cannot shake. Let the world be loud. You be steady, be real, be unseen, until your silence shakes the ground. Lesson 5. Restraint is mastery over ego. There's a Buddhist tale of a giant elephant walking silently through the forest. It disturbs nothing, makes no noise, yet the earth shifts beneath every step. This is what true power looks like. Restraint is not repression. It is refined clarity. It is knowing you could speak, fight, prove, or explain, but choosing not to. Because ego wants attention, but wisdom wants peace. Every time someone criticizes you, your ego wants to defend, to attack, to prove. But ask yourself, is this worth my energy, just my pride? Buddhism teaches that every reaction is a moment of choice, and your silence is your vote for peace. Try this. The next time you're triggered, pause. Feel your breath. Let your silence hold your power like a sacred vessel. Don't let people drag you into their storm. Invite them into your calm, because not reacting doesn't mean you lost. It means you've risen above them, above the noise, above the ego. Lesson 6. Success is quiet until it echoes. Success doesn't always roar. Sometimes it moves like a whirlpool deep, focused, silent, until suddenly it changes everything. We live in a world addicted to performance, but Buddhism reminds us, before you speak of your path, walk it. Before you claim victory, embody it. Real success is built in the dark, in the hours before dawn, in the quiet moments when no one claps, when you keep going not because you're noticed, but because you are called. You might be healing quietly right now, building something the world can't yet see. And you might wonder, should I be louder? Should I prove I'm doing something? But no, you don't need noise. You need direction. You need devotion to the work, not decoration for the ego. Here's your reflection. Would you still pursue your vision if no one ever praised you for it? Because the truth is, when the moment is right, your silence will echo, and the world won't ask how loud you were. It will ask, was it real? Lesson 7. Use silence to read the unspoken. Most people hear what's said. Very few perceive what's meant. But real truth lives in silence. In Buddhist mindfulness practice, there's a principle. Look beyond the words, listen beneath them. When you're quiet, you begin to feel energy. You see through the words. You notice the tension in someone's shoulders, the pause before a reply, the tremble behind their smile. This is not Mr. Kalit's perceptive awareness. Try this. Next time you're in conversation, listen not just with your ears, but with your stillness. Don't prepare your reply. Don't defend or impress. Just observe. You'll be amazed how much people reveal when you stop trying to fill the silence. Because silence doesn't just protect your peace, it reveals the truth. Let your stillness become your strategy. Lesson 8. The detached voice is the most free. There's a kind of silence that doesn't suppress. It liberates. When your voice no longer depends on being agreed with, when you can speak without needing validation, when you're okay with being misunderstood, then you've touched real freedom. The Buddha once said, when you no longer need to be understood, you are finally free. Detachment isn't cold. It's clarity. It's speaking only when your words serve wisdom, and staying silent when they only serve your ego. Imagine this. Someone misjudges you. You could explain, defend, argue, but what if you didn't? What if you let your life, your presence, your stillness say everything? That's real power. The kind that doesn't beg to be seen, but is impossible to ignore. Lesson 9. Let the work whisper for you. A master once said, let your work speak so clearly, no voice is needed to explain it. In a small village, there was a craftsman who never advertised. He didn't talk about his progress. He simply built with care. Over time, his creations spoke for themselves, and people travelled miles to see the work, not the man. This is the art of quiet mastery. In Buddhism, it's called right effort, doing the work without attachment to praise. Ask yourself, would you still do what you're doing if no one ever applauded? Would your mission still matter if no one saw it? Because when your craft is aligned with your soul, recognition becomes optional. Here's your invitation. For 1 week, build something in silence. Don't post about it. Don't talk about it. Just create. Let your effort be the prayer. Let the results do the talking. Because when your work whispers truth, it will echo longer than any shout ever could. Lesson 10. Guard your energy with silence. In nature, the bamboo survives storms not because it's rigid, but because it bends and never breaks. Your words are energy. Every time you speak, you're spending a currency that's not easily replenished. Ask yourself, how many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling drained? Not because of what was said, but because of how much was said. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, speech should be mindful, not automatic. Every word is an offering. And when we speak mindlessly, we scatter our sacred attention. Guard your energy like it matters, because it does. Practice noble silence. Designate hours in your day where you simply don't explain, don't justify, don't narrate. Let your mind become a still pond again. That's where strength grows. Lesson 11. Stillness leads supreme clarity. Imagine a lake on a windless morning. Its surface is glass, and only then can it reflect the sky. Your mind works the same way. The more noise, the more distortion. The more stillness, the more truth. We are conditioned to figure it out by thinking more, talking more, Googling more, asking more. But what if the answer you're looking for is already within you, just waiting for the noise to stop? In Zen Buddhism, stillness is not absence. It's the presence of presence. Here's your practice. Each day, carve 10 minutes of pure stillness. No music, no words, no agenda. Just sit, breathe, observe. You may feel restless at first, but in that restlessness, clarity will rise. Because clarity is not something you chase. It's something that emerges when everything else quiets down. Bonus lesson. Let go of to be heard. Here's a radical truth from Buddhist philosophy. When the need to be heard dissolves, true power begins. You don't have to win every debate. You don't have to be understood by everyone. You don't even have to explain your healing, your growth, or your silence. Imagine the freedom in that. There was once a man who felt unseen. He'd always tried to make people understand his pain, his path, his process. But the more he explained, the less peace he found. One day, he stopped explaining, and for the first time, he felt whole. Sometimes, silence is the final word, the highest response, the deepest boundary. Let your presence do the speaking. Let your peace become your proof. In a world drowning in noise, you don't have to shout. You only have to become so still that the world quiets around you. Silence isn't emptiness, it's power. Let's remember the key lessons. 1. Silence is the seat of supreme power. True influence doesn't shout, it radiates from stillness. 2. Speak less, see more. When you quiet your voice, you sharpen your vision. 3. Be quietly disciplined. Let your actions whisper louder than your announcements. 4. The mindset of quiet achievers. Don't chase recognition, chase alignment. 5. Restraint is mastery over ego. Power isn't in reaction, it's in self-control. 6. Success is quiet until it echoes. The deepest roots grow without applause. 7. Use silence to read the unspoken. Most truth lives between the words. 8. The detached voice is the most free. You don't need to explain peace. You embody it. 9. Let the work whisper for you. Make excellence your language, not self-promotion. 10. Guard your energy with silence. Every word costs energy. Spend wisely. 11. Stillness leads to supreme clarity. Stop chasing answers. Let silence reveal them. Let go of needing to be heard. When you stop needing to prove yourself, you begin to own yourself. Silence isn't passive. It's strategic. It's spiritual. It's strength. Choose your silence. Reclaim your power. If this message spoke to your soul, hit like to let the algorithm know silence matters. Comment below. What's one area in your life where silence changed everything? Subscribe to the Enlightened Mind. for more soul-centered Buddhist wisdom that helps you lead not louder but deeper. And remember, you don't need to say more. You just need to become more. The quiet ones, they're the ones rewriting the world.